Hey, we're here with Bill Carson from Johnson Outdoors, and Bill's going to tell us a little bit about what's coming up new with Humminbird, and we're going to talk about the Minn Kota product line as well. So you want to start with maybe the 360 imaging and how that is really changing fishing in electronics.
Absolutely. Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about the 360. Everything that's out there before is looking at something that's history. It's stuff that's in the back of the boat, something I've already gone past or I've already gone over. With 360 imaging, I have the ability to look what is in the future, which is in front of the boat, and I don't have to be moving. With side imaging, with down imaging, I've got to be moving because it processes it in a 3D fashion from a transducer ceramic that's about this long, and it's doing it in little bitty bites. But with 360, I can literally sit still and I can watch fish swim by the boat. Let me show you these. Here are a group of fish, and I can literally watch that group of fish as they swim by the boat, and I'm sitting completely still. You can't do that with anything else. I can also isolate an area directly in front of the boat, so if I'm a guy who's beating the bank bass fishing, I can literally focus on what's just in front of the boat, and I can cast in front of the boat, and I never even have to go up there. When you see a fish and a fish is swimming off real fast because it saw you, it's too late. It's game over. You can't catch that fish. Let me tell you a couple of other things. Let me tell you a little bit about the new iPilot Link. iPilot has actually been out for a little while, and people still don't understand it. What iPilot gives me the ability to do is to record a track that I want to run with the unit. iPilot gives me the ability to spotlight. With me personally, I can go get on top of a piece of structure and I can push the anchor icon, and I can literally stay right on top of that structure and spend all of my time fishing instead of spending half of my time trying to stay on top of that structure, because it's going to keep me within 2.5 meters of that spot that I want to fish on. It's crazy. Now we have iPilot Link, and what iPilot Link does is it allows me to connect directly to my trolling motor from my unit, and it gives me a handheld wireless where I can get all of the digital data from my unit directly onto the handheld. I can see my speed, I can see my course over ground, I can see my prop speed, I can see my water temperature, I can see all that data right here, and I can control the trolling motor from this, or I can go to the head unit, to the unit itself, and I can control the trolling motor from my head unit. I can have all waypoints that are on my head unit, and I can tell my unit to go directly to those. So it's some really cool stuff.
That is cool.
Yep.
I mean, it saves you a lot of time. You know, especially I see in like situations where you have water that's really rough, waves up here in the Great Lakes, and on some of these big rivers we fish, where I've struggled myself. Using a conventional cable system on a trolling motor, trying to stay balanced, trying to cast, trying to fish, and keep yourself on the spot when you're in 3 and 4 foot waves. Where something like this, you just put it on the waypoint and let that thing fight the waves for you. That's
right.
Really innovative.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
Very cool.
Really exciting stuff coming out here. We own Lake Master too, and Lake Master is coming out with more maps up here. Once we have a Lake Master high definition map for the lake that you happen to be fishing, then you have another feature benefit that you have the ability to do, and that is you can follow the contour. So you'll be able to take your cursor and move your cursor over to a particular contour, which is the depth that you've been catching fish.
I'm catching them at the 10-foot range.
You're catching them at the 10-foot range. You can move your cursor over there, and you can tell your unit to follow that contour, and it will lock onto that 10-foot contour, and it will follow it until you tell it to stop or the battery dies, whichever comes first.
Well,
that's crazy.
Well, that's really cool too, because when you're dealing with like a weed edge, you can see an application where you're fishing an outside weed edge that ends off at 12 feet of water, and you want to put the boat to 14 and stay on 14, so you just parallel that weed edge, and it's going to follow that contour line. It ultimately follows the weed edge, because that's what happens with the weeds.
Or
they die off right on the break.
Or if you're a guy who wants to beat the bank, you want to cast crankbaits or you want to cast whatever over to the bank, and your target is to land 5 feet from the bank, do a cast, see how far you cast, pick the 0 line, stand off of it 100 feet, and you can literally follow the contour plus 100 feet and cast 100 feet and land 5 feet from the shore every time.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
Good stuff.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for stopping in.
All
Absolutely.
Right.